I'm David Dorward. I was appointed the rank Associate Director here in Dundee in 2015. At that point, Rank started their second place-based programme, first being in Hull. The security it gave those projects, they had never heard of 3-year funding before, so a lot of them had to live from hand to mouth on an annual basis. Rank was the first charity who had ever said to them, "We have such faith and trust in you that we're going to fund you for 3 years." These charities who did not know each other at the start of the project suddenly found they were forming relationships with charities they would not have formed relationships. And we found that we produced a better overall community impact. And even, 6 years later, many of those organisations who had never met each other are still working together now on projects that are producing really good outcomes. Whenever one of them knows of a problem within their organisation, they turn to their colleagues that they have through the Rank Foundation place-based programme, and invariably by working together they can solve that problem. The pebble in the pond. So Rank came to Dundee, and from that 3 or 4 new projects have been spawned. Launch It, which is an incubator for young entrepreneurs. And that Launch It one simply came about because we were sitting at the Rank dinner next to people from the London Youth Support Trust. And they said, wouldn't it be a good idea to have a similar thing in Scotland? And that's how it was born.
My name is Leanne and I'm the Enterprise Manager here at Launch It Dundee. We help young people between the ages of 18 to 30 start their own business. We help young people who want to start a business and are really creative and talented, but they're not really sure how to go about it. We've taken a building as well in the community that was underused, restored it, and now it's given 15 businesses a chance. We have a whole variety of businesses here, which is great, and very much creative businesses. We have 2 computer games companies, a photographer, a few fashion houses, someone who makes bespoke character costumes.
A lot of the artwork, like these ones and that one. So if people need artwork, although you wouldn't think it, there is a lot of maths. I made my first head when I was 13. I was homeless for 7 years. But I was caring for my mum and my little brother, because my mum's disabled and my little brother's got autism. So I was doing all that and going to school and stuff, so I didn't really have time. My original head was made out of an old couch. I seen a picture of somebody's finished suit on Google, and I was I'm just gonna try and make this. And then the lining was made out of a green bed sheet, and I used a bubble to tie it to my head. It was just, but it was so awesome though. I was I can make a thing, you know what I mean?
I just think it's an absolute privilege to be part of this and see the businesses and the young people grow and what they can achieve. I've seen them through highs and lows, and just seeing them overcome, certain obstacles. It's amazing, and you just what's next for them,
I'm John Alexander. I'm the CEO of ACD, which is Alexander's Community Development. We're actually an employability charity that's helping the people of Dundee. My background's been working in trades, so we've created a course called Transition to Trade, which is working on people's mindset, giving them qualifications that get them into the building trade. We launched ACD in February of COVID. So once we were launched in February, we were closed down as the pandemic kicked in. So we've actually only operated throughout COVID, but with the support of the Rank Foundation and others, we've now got a staff team of 16. Here at the side, as you maybe see, some food products. Now we've delivered 1.4 million of food. We are one of the main players in the food insecurity groups in the city. So we take on the food every Friday, we sort it out, we're looking to deal with some of the food waste from a lot of the supermarkets at night. Working with other projects in collaboration, really, that's what ACD is all about. We've got a motto is, there's no problems, only solutions. But the Ranks Foundation have supported with a couple of staff members. We have Dylan, who's one of our trainers, who's actually come through our project. Dylan we've seen the drive in Dylan and just need an opportunity. So we've created the opportunity, and he's progressing tenfold, I would have to say.
I've improved in many things over the 10 months that I've been here so far. Seeing the position that I was in just over a little bit of a year ago myself. So I was on the job centre, I didn't have much money coming in, I was living at home with parents, and I wasn't in the best position in life for myself. So be able to be in this position I am now and give back to the community and give back to people that were in my position is a great feeling, a great rewarding feeling. Growing up in Dundee, I grew up in the schemes of Dundee, so there's that many schemes in Dundee. Growing up, I moved house so many times, moved house 12 times. So moving house 12 times, I was here, there, I was all over the place. I was moved from one place to another, from one school to another, all over the place. And it's just a lot of similar to the guys that are coming in here. So we'll get a lot of the school courses that are coming in. They've got the exact same background, or near enough the exact same background as myself. So be able to be in this position to give back to these guys is brilliant. The RAP programme, fantastic. So when I very first started rank, as part of our rank aspire programme, I went down to London. So going down to London was a huge experience. So I'd never ever been out of Dundee as a whole. I'd always been in Scotland, but I never moved out of Scotland too much. So I moved down to London for the very first time. I went down there for a visit, I went down to see all the other people that was on the rank aspire programme, and what a wonderful experience it was. So it was the first time coming from a small city of Dundee to the huge place of London. I get to meet that many new people, that many people with the same sort of ideas as myself, the same sort of future wanting to help people in the same sort of positions. So getting to meet that many people was fantastic. And just want the same sort of mindset as myself.
My name is Paul Wilson, I'm the Head of Community Development at Dundee United Community Trust. Dundee United Community Trust is the official charity of Dundee United Football Club, and our aim is to work with people in Dundee and the surrounding areas to make their lives a little bit better. We're at Showcase Street here today, and we've got our para-athletics session. So we've got kids from 4 to 20 years old with various disabilities all taking part in sessions that will improve their running, their jumping and throwing and everything else that goes along with that. We've been fortunate enough to have a staff member join us thanks to the Rank Aspire programme. Stacey McFadden joined us in 2021, and since then she's come on leaps and bounds in terms of her coaching and her communication and her confidence. She takes part in all of our sessions. She's an extremely positive female role model and is very heavily involved in a girls' academy that has over 100 players playing as part of the Dundee United family. Like everybody, COVID brought about many challenges. We had to adapt, we had a very short shutdown period, and then we were right back to serving our community and supporting those most in need. We spent some time delivering meals. We supported Dundee Bairns to provide lunches and breakfast to those in our community. We provided pick-me-up packs for kids going back to school in August. We made over 2,000 phone calls to people who were struggling with their mental health and struggling with isolation.
And I'm calling him Fred. Do you see it? Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. It's not breathing this one.
Okay, Fred's coming. My friend.
He's looking at me now.
I'm Alison Goodfellow and I'm Project Manager here at the Maxwell Centre and everyone's community garden in the Hilltown area of Dundee. I've been involved with the garden from the very start of the Rank Foundation funding way back in 2015. When I first started, I had no experience of working in the third sector and the project was in a bit of a crisis. All our funding was due to end and the Rank Foundation came in and we were successful enough to secure 3 years funding at that time, which for the project was huge. In addition to the actual money, which is great, for 3 years, it also brought to us a huge amount of support in the sense that we weren't very well connected with other partner organisations locally, let alone across the whole of Dundee. So instantly we were part of this group of people meeting regularly and sharing ideas and supporting each other. It was quite clear from the start of the Rank Foundation their open and honest relationship was great because it gave us confidence in what we were doing and to be able to ask and share new things. The additional support via RankNet, the conference, Our reporting system upshot. We didn't have a reporting system, so it was great to have access to such a good reporting system that we would never otherwise be able to afford as a charity. All the bursaries, RankNet, all the additional benefits that the funding brought has just been huge. And I can remember doing an exercise, and it was all the organisations that were funded, and we drew lines across the paper of all the connections that had been made and everyone that had worked together. And it was just, had such a big impact in seeing this massive big spider web of all the different projects that had worked together as a result of the funding. So there was this real appetite for a green space. A lot of the houses round about don't have access to their own private space, and the kids don't have access to gardens. And also at that time, they demolished multi-storey blocks round about, they demolished a factory across the road. It was pretty bleak and dismal. So community engagement right from the very start of the project with the garden has been huge. 4 local primary schools, all within walking distance, took an allotment in the garden.
Here! Calling him Fred! Where? On the side, this side. Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah! Did you touch your finger? No, I didn't. There, do you see it?
I'm a class primary school teacher at our local primary school, which is just 2 minutes down the road. Today we've got 6 of the boys and girls up in the garden. We have been looking at all the frogs. Lots and lots of frog spawn just now. It's just been amazing. The kids have their own plot up here, so depending on the time of year, we've had children harvesting fruit and vegetables. They have learnt all about different flowers in the garden, scavenger hunts, make seed bombs. They do so much up here and they absolutely love it.
Just a little bit of that. It's really delicious. Look how try it. It's pretty delicious, isn't it?
My name is Jenna Miller. I'm the project coordinator for Dundee Bairns. A day in the life, no 2 days are the same really. We've got loads of things that go on. Our work can be quite seasonal because we work with the school holidays to deliver the Fun and Food programme. And that delivers meals to children during the school holidays alongside community activity. We run tea clubs after school, which go out in the winter time, so that's October kind of to March. So that's a 2-course hot meal that goes to targeted children across Dundee. We've got a clothing project called Cozy Bairns, which we deliver all year round. That's a relatively new project and it is growing arms and legs. So the projects that come in alongside that can be quite varied. And we are always looking for opportunities to partner up with people and offer as much as we can to children around the city. The first week of lockdown, I think I was expected to deliver a 2-week food provision, as would been typical at that time. But that turned into an 18-week long food provision. I think over that period we put out, it was close to 60,000 meals. We have been part of a wider community network of food providers, and so many people, all with the same kind of, in the same kind of frame of mind. They all want to just help and support each other, and it's been lovely, really, really nice.
I'm Dave Close, I'm the director of Hot Chocolate Trust, and we've been working with young people in Dundee City Centre for the last 20 years. A few volunteers started going out onto the grass area in front of the church because the grass has always been a kind of congregating point for young people from around the city, and particularly alternative culture young people. And the volunteers simply wanted to get to know them, so they started going out on a Saturday afternoon when the grass was busy, It was October and quite cold, so they took hot chocolate with them as a kind of hook to hang those conversations on, something to share, something to gather around. And so they became the hot chocolate people. They asked the young people if there was space in the building that they could use, what would they like to do with it? And a lot of the young people were in bands, didn't have anywhere to rehearse. And so the sanctuary of the steeple became a death metal rehearsal room. And around that, music making grew more relationships. Out of those relationships grew new ideas, new actions that the youth workers and young people could take together. Off the back of a kind of growing relationship with Rank through the years of their investment in Dundee, we've been delighted to be able to create an opportunity with them for Chantelle, who had been a young person at Hot Chocolate for a number of years and who had taken on various different roles and responsibilities within that.
So I'm Chantelle, I'm a youth work trainee at Hot Chocolate for the Rank Aspire programme. When I was about 16, 17, all my friends came here. Like, we just came here and all met here. But yeah, there's definitely like a massive sense of community, and there always has been. And like, I say it so much, but so many people call this like their safe space and like their community. We've seen people at the door and we were like, let's just go in. And I've never left. I think like to a lot of people it can be quite intimidating that it's in such a massive church, but the minute you step into the door you're like, wow, this is not a church. Well, it is, but it's not. One of my main reasons for always kind of wanting to volunteer here was Hot Chocolate helped me so much kind of growing up, so it was like I'd love to do that for somebody else, which I feel like I'm starting to do, so it's like really like heartwarming. And because you're able to just focus on whatever you're doing, whether that be like lino printing or just drawing, just conversation starts to flow a lot easier. And I feel like a lot of young people just feel safer not having to like stare at you and answer all your questions. Like if they're just drawn away, then they can talk at their pace and just kind of, if they feel safe enough to talk, then great. If they don't, it's fine, let's just keep drawing. In sense of working with like other people from the RAP programme, like they're all really good, and I feel like we all learn from each other. Like specifically when we were down in London, we were all just kind of just bouncing off each other with, I do this and you do that, and yeah, it was really nice to hear how everybody else works.
I'm Kirsty Nelson. I'm a parish nurse with the parish nursing team at the Steeple Church in Dundee. We've worked alongside Faith and Community for many years, and subsequently we've been part of the Food Network meetings that have been taking place since the start of the pandemic. Without the organisation of Jackie and the team at Faith and Community, I think probably our city would be in a much worse state than it is just now. With them sort of communicating and pulling together all of these services who are spread right through one end of the city to the other, there wouldn't have been the coordination of services, making sure that we were actually meeting the needs of the people in the specific areas. And for us to not have to worry about coordinating all of that was an absolute joy as well. So we totally take our hats off to them. And there's no ego attached, which is the main thing, that it is literally just what can we do for the best of the people in our communities. I think you'll see Dundee has become sort of more coordinated in its response to things. Sometimes we still feel like we're firefighting, but with certain issues we kind of feel like we've got more of a grip on it. We've got a better understanding of why some people are having to access food services specifically, but we also have a better understanding of how working together in partnership with other organisations is going to benefit not just us as a service, but benefit the people that we're there to help.
Hi, I'm Jackie Close, the Director of Faith and Community Dundee. Faith and Community Dundee has been working across the city for over 10 years. We work with faith communities, partner projects, local community projects, and we are rooted in every community in the city because of the support that we give to each of these local grassroots locality-based projects. When the pandemic hit, we brought together all these projects with senior management from Dundee City Council. And our question was, what are you seeing, what are you hearing, and what do you need? Because each of these projects didn't shut their doors, they kept their doors open. And what they did was adapted their provision to serve the needs of their local community during that first lockdown, and have done so since then. And that was the start of what became the Dundee Food Insecurity Network. We had 26 local projects. We would meet every single Monday morning, and we had 2 senior managers from Dundee City Council every Monday morning at that meeting. And the feedback from these projects shaped the council's response and enabled us to support the projects to better support people in their communities. On average, we are still seeing over 4,000 people coming to these community food projects. The numbers did go down, but they've gone back up again recently, and we continue to meet regularly with this network of projects. There's now over 30 projects part of this. I would really like to thank Rank Foundation for their place-based funding, because it was more than funding. It brought together a network of organisations who wouldn't normally be in the same room together, and the benefit from that has continued. We still have fantastic relationships with all the projects that we were partnered with. We still work together. There's been new innovative pieces of work that have developed out of that, and we're really excited about how that is continuing to evolve and grow over time. We absolutely loved having our Time to Shine leaders, and we had a rapper as well. All 3 of them have gone on to fantastic jobs in the third sector, and one of them has even come back to be a trustee for our organisation. So we love Time to Shine and the RAP programme, and think that they're a fantastic opportunity for a young adult, but also a fantastic opportunity for the organisation to develop and grow in a way that you can't without that level of support and energy and commitment.
Hi, my name is Anne Singleton. I'm the coordinator for Top Line and Hamlet Cafes, which operate across the city. Today we're in the Douglas Community Centre. It's extremely busy today. Everything's provided free of charge. It's all healthy food, so everybody goes away with a full tummy. We did our very best through COVID, because it's not just the provision of food, it's the actual social contact, I think, that is very important to people. Dundee's a very, very caring city, a very kind city. You know, we have a network. If anybody's got spare food, they will hand it on to the charity for the next day, so nothing gets wasted. It's great. I've got a fantastic team of volunteers, and most of them actually started out coming to the cafes as customers, and then decided to help out, and it's built their confidence. I definitely couldn't do it without them. They're a fantastic group of people.
When you're here for maybe an hour or 2, people just come and have a blether, a yap, and a cup of tea, and there's a good mixture of people really.
So we'll do soup, baked potatoes and macaroni most days. It's really good.
I'm Grant Simmons, Regional Manager of Food Train in Dundee and Perth and Kinross. So Food Train supports older people with a number of different services. They have a grocery delivery service, a befriending service, a one-to-one service, meal sharing service. Especially when the lockdown started, we had to really focus on the grocery delivery service and make sure that we were supporting older people, especially a lot of vulnerable older people that were having to shield. But fortunately there were some people who were furloughed from their normal job, and they were able to come in, step in if you like, and volunteer for us. So that was really helpful. But yeah, it was very much a challenge. So yeah, in Dundee we've got a very strong third sector community. I was fortunate that Food Train had links with the Rank Foundation before Food Train was in Dundee. They knew Michelle, the Chief Executive down in Dumfries, very well. So there was that partnership already working with the Rank Foundation down in Dumfries. So it linked in really well, and yeah, we were there right from the start at the discussions with Rank Foundation about coming to Dundee to support a number of organisations throughout the city. It's a very active role volunteering in Dundee, certainly for the grocery delivery service. We have a number of volunteers who, as maybe you've seen earlier on, they come into the office to collect the delivery boards, the money bags, and then they get the keys for the van, head off to the supermarket. We have a number of volunteers who are in the supermarket doing the shopping, and we get the groceries all put together in boxes through the checkout, and then ultimately loaded up onto the vans, and then they head off out to do the deliveries to the older people. We tried to keep the same volunteers delivering to the same older people so that they build up that bit of a relationship as well, which is really good for the volunteers, but it's also really good for the older people as well.